Hello everyone. So today we're going to be checking Cloudflare, and the product from there is AI related products, and how we can build an chatbot, for example, or deploy our chatbot and use their models. So you can also have a look on the pricing. We will be using the free, so I have not any of these models, the pricing models here, but here you could have a look on their different pricing models. But for our use case, it totally works with the free plan. So just sign up. You should know how to do a sign up and create an account. Yeah, when you sign up and you log in, you will land on the dashboard. Here on the left side you see the AI section, and there we have the models. So these are all the models that we can use. You can filter them: provider, Cloudflare by hosted, third party, some authors, GPT, for example. You could search it, and for sure you can use also, let's say, model which are not here from the outside, from the Cloudflare. We will see that also. And they have really good documentation. Every section have a link to documentation where we can have a look on different segments here. So what we're gonna do, we will just take simple any model and try to do a chat, so text to text. We have a Worker AI. I had already did some testing, that's why you see my old data here. With Worker AI is like you can directly deploy your template or your, let's say, the interface for your LLM, and then use these models which are provided by Cloudflare. And for sure the pricing, every model, if you click there, you should be seeing the pricing on the side. And let's say GPT, right? And here's small preview as well, some tagging, what it can do, and then you can filter them out. So normally, if you don't want to use Worker AI, for example, just want to call these models, and here's the way when you are inside of Worker AI, but you could also use the endpoint from Cloudflare, passing your account ID and a token. Yeah, a token is very important. We need a token. Normally here, if you click here, generate API token, it asks you on the side to generate a new one, and all the permission that it required. I have already generated that you can do under the profile, and then API tokens, and then there you can generate your token. So Workers AI, you could check here templates, right? There are some pre-template that you can choose and then deploy. It goes to the section under compute, worker and pages. And then we have API gateway. So here you see those REST call, like how you can pass your token, your account ID, and how to pass that model. And then here you could select, for example, Grok, and just use as REST and to consume that LLM. There's also bring your own token concept. So normally when you're using their models, they are charging you accordingly how the model pricing is. But you may, for example, for OpenAI, For GPT, you may have already your own token and then you want to use that token, which you can also do that. In that case, you cannot use Workers AI. I don't know why this is the case. Here you can only use the models. For sure the models which are from Cloudflare, but you cannot bring your own key. So you cannot like put your own key and think that the charging should go to your the original LLM provider, or for example where you have an account in OpenAI. This don't work, but you can still use that. And if you really want to use through the API gateway, because at the end we just need to call the rest to the Cloudflare and we want to use our own token. So far I just find a difference that in Worker AI, you know, it just in the environment they already set this mapping to the endpoint. We will see when we will create one small one, a demo one for us. Okay, so here in API gateway, I think by default there is already one default, but for sure you can create a new gateway. You can set some limits, give an ID, give a name, and then just click create. So I have already here default, and I think this is the by default it's there. So AI search in beta version, I haven't gotten chance to have a look on that, but from the documentation it seems like your knowledge base, so where you can perform your RAG. And yeah, agent without having built retrieval structure you can use for documentation, knowledge base, AI agent tool, and memory. Oh, also memory. Pre-tenant or per-tenant agent file search. Okay, we may check this feature in later videos because this is really new and I haven't gotten a chance to check this one. Vectorize, you probably know already. We also don't gonna use this feature. Yeah, you know there's plenty more vector databases out there. That's the point. So we want to use in a model, we want to make the chatbot, or how we can use that LLM and do our stuff. So what we need to start with Worker AI. So we go to the documentation. Yeah, getting started. Yeah, here we are. So we need to create a project. Choose hello world when it asks for a template, and we need worker only. We use the TypeScript, and yeah, if you need a git version control, and we don't deploy because yeah, we need to do something. And then we will cd in, and then we will open the project. So there is no any magic here, right? I mean, simple process. You won't gonna get run into any issue. You just npm create the project, which is hello AI. We select the hello world. We select worker only. There's other features which is not relevant for us. We choose TypeScript, and that's the all. And then it will ask if we need a git, and I have chosen, I think, no. Yeah, agents MD. This is also a good thing that they already provide agents MD. I don't need it for my project. This is just a demo. I don't need a git, and I don't want to deploy this. So that's pretty it. And yeah, after that we can open the project and see. So let's open the project. We have a packages, and there's this the CLI, I don't know how you read it, Wrangler, and this is the config file, which is the important one, the main file. So currently we don't have anything. So if we will start this, it should just respond with hello world. For that is npm run start. It might happen that it open your browser and ask you to log in. So I already logged in, so now it's not asking anymore. So we open the port and we see that there is a hello world. So at this point now, so it's just basically creating an app now, right? And for Worker AI, we need to set up an environment or like binding. So we say AI binding. That's we do in Wrangler file and just add it here. So what does this happen? So this is like binding now. That means when we are using AI, it can already now do call those endpoints. I mean, we have to call that LLM somehow, so we don't need to do that, like putting that whole URL, etc., and we can simply just call that. I have an example. Okay, so here you see from the Cloudflare we are using the Llama, from the author provider is Meta, and we can ask here, I don't know, what can we ask? Hey, how you doing? Right? So we simply returning a response here, and so nothing special, and we can run it. Establishing remote connection. That's what I meant in the beginning, that it might ask you to log in. Now if we open this, we should get a response. Please use the model was deprecated on. Okay, so this model is deprecated, documentation is old. So I have used before this model, but let's look for a model, maybe first hosted by Cloudflare. We can choose, I have never tried this one. Let's try this one. Let's choose this one. And do I have a mistake? No. Save. It have reloaded. Yeah, here we have. So I told you that night would come when it made sense to stay. I told you that night would come when it made sense to. Okay, there's more text. And I'm like, what? What it replied? What was the question? Hi, how you doing? Will be interesting to read full response. Talking about there's choices. Crazy. And yeah, but okay, it replied. Sometimes you have to make sure that how you pass the messages. For example, here be passed as a prompt. This model want to have this format, so we need this format. You are friendly user. And now if we ask, hi, how you doing, right? And now we pass the messages, and I think I can just refresh here. So there is correct answer. I am doing great, thank you for asking. As an AI, I don't have feeling, blah blah blah. Okay, so before we just pass a prompt and it never went as a prompt, and it was just answering some random thing. So this you should be very careful. Some models need a messages and some a prompt. Let's see. Yeah, I think all the internal models just need messages, and if the provider is not third party, and if we have third party, let's test maybe this one. Oh, it gets like text. Yeah. So yeah, this you have to be careful what you are choosing. Okay, for us this is working. Now the interesting part, these are the models, that's being now charged from Cloudflare. So under Worker AI, you would see that we use that models. You need to refresh sometime and it does not just show there. Okay, so under models, we could also use third-party model like Gemini, Flash, and here you see the prefix is a bit different, and I need to copy whole thing because how we pass here now is as parts as text. I might be run already out of tokens. Let's see, refreshed probably, and invalid user credential, and we should see that error now somewhere. The logs, add money to your gateway or use bring your own key. So bring your own key is misleading because it won't work with Worker AI, but for sure you can use the API gateway. So the concept is you call to that internally, you call to that API, and then API is that binded to that endpoint, and it will response you. So for example, the third party provider, either from here or here, you can say custom provider, and then you say add the provider name. This is important. This is something like author, so we add always add Cloudflare / model name, or Google / the model name, and this is that prefix. You can add it here, and endpoint, for example, I have a key from Grok, and from there, so I am using their 3.370 billion parameter model. So I just add any random slug here, give it a name, just to distinguish the model, because L llama is from the meta and here, but I'm using this provider, and this is their endpoint, right? This I have to know, and I add it. And now if I would do something like this won't work. Because this binding thing here does not work for custom models. So what we need to do, I have another project that I'm gonna open. So here I remove that binding and I define my own API gateway ID, the gateway we have, AI gateway model that I want to use. So this is the slug I told you, custom, and this is the provider, and then the account ID from your Cloudflare. And now what we have here, I add 2 endpoints, one for chat completion, and then add another endpoint for AGUI protocol, right? And that's where chat completion is. Our call is simple completion, and we pass the model. The model is the custom one, and that's pretty it. And the token I have also already added. If we go to gateway, because this is the gateway we are using now, provider keys. So this is my key, this is the alias, you could use the different one, and that's pretty it. And and this is the provider. You see it then in the list. If I will delete it, it will appear again in the list, and this is from where we have added in the AI gateway. And as soon as we add that provider, this appear here, and then we add the ID, and that's how it know which token does we need. Okay, so that's all what we're gonna do now. If we go to compute workers, we see that I don't have any. This is from my previous, I deleted already, and we can deploy it. What we say is npm run deploy. That's pretty it, right? So here you can set up, technically you can set up your chatbot, your front end, everything, and you have the endpoint to LLM. And what I am deploying is just the harness around the LLM, right? So scaffolding. And so this is very basic. And normally in harness, so harness is everything which around the LLM, which is not the part of LLM. Cloud code, for example, they have a lot of code around it, how to read file, how to do that, and looping through your instructions, bringing a plan, so everything you want to do with it. Here we will just deploy as a backend, because somewhere I will show you, we will just directly use that URL as a chat, and then we can use it. For sure you can also make full working chat feature here and then just deploy it. Telemetry, this is also a good point. Meanwhile it's deploying, you could go in setting and also add OTEL integration, right? You can add your destination and whatever, if a token does it require, and then your logs are going there. Okay, let's see if it's deployed. Under compute workers, not yet. Okay, here shows it's deployed. There. 1 minute ago we successfully deployed, and we will have the URL and which we can use it. If I open it directly, there's nothing. Swagger page, because I added 2 endpoint. So what we can do, we can go to ai-cdk.com, go to docs, because we are using now AGUI protocol. This is the storybook. So if you will be building Angular frontend, you can use it, the service here, and this support AGUI protocol. You can use all the elements you need for building in chatbot, right? Like rendering, markdown, human feedback, and you can configure everything here. Everything is configurable, background changing, button color, etc. Here's a small demo page here. We can directly use it, I'm sure. If I put the URL here, this is where our endpoints are, which our page is running. And then we have set, this is the suffix, right? B11. And what we need now is token ID for our gateway so that it can pass through. This is the header. Oops. We need authorization, then barrier. The token is now from our profile API token, this token that we created. Okay, I cannot copy it. I have it already, and I will just add that header, right? It's added. So that's basically all. And now please ask me to confirm something. If I confirm, tell me, I don't know, main city or capital of Germany. Okay, let's see. Reconnect, because we changed some parameter here. Send the prompt. Here's the response. Are you sure you want to know the main city of Germany? Yes. The main city of Germany is Berlin. What a wonder. And we have not now consumed any billing or token from Cloudflare, but our own, because it's external provider, external key we use there. But I think we will be still seeing here logs. API gateway, this is the gateway we used. if we go to the log and we see there it have cost us nothing, and here it sent the payload and the main city of Berlin. This is the response. So this is AGUI protocol, nothing special. So it's just sending you response, and the UI can render it. You can render any component, for example, any Angular component, you can render it. You pass it as a tool. Maybe we can see it. If I check the network call, and which tool we have? Yeah, ask me any multi-choice questions, right? And send the prompt. There is our run, right? I am not able to generate a multi-choice question. If you would like, okay, we will see this, why not? But I wanted to show you, this is the request going out, and if we check the payload in AGUI protocol, we're sending the tools, and yeah, okay, for sure it cannot put that UI for asking a question, because I am just sending a tool which is only about confirmation, right? That's why it can render it only, and it don't have any feature to rendering me multi-choice question. Yeah. So this is something different topic, but so that's pretty all. And yeah, if we go to now our compute and worker, we should see our worker here and go it there. All those variables which we wrote, is appearing here under settings, so that you see my account ID, the gateway ID, the model, the external model. For sure you can also use directly the models that are internally provided by Cloudflare or third parties, but this is the way you can use from the external provider. And yeah, I think that's pretty all. I hope it helps you a bit to understand in Cloudflare how things works. We have Worker AI, where you can directly call to your model through this environment binding. If you bring in your own key, then you need to do this through the API gateway. And yeah, there is also bindings of, let me see, bindings to worker bindings, and let me see if I can have a look there. The bindings, yeah. Add and connect external resources to your worker without needing to manage permission or key. That you can also do. Here are the bindings, and this is the AI binding that we did in the beginning, right? Yeah, you see. And for example, you have assets. There was bucket binding also. Directory, these kind of bindings you can do, but this is not directly related to AI, but for sure you can do the binding. For AI are these important features. Thank you very much, and catch you in the next video. Bye bye.